Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and stick around. Also, if you need help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. I also have some self-study courses about manifesting your specific person. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. In today's video, I want to talk about a topic that comes up very, very often, and it can be a big challenge for a lot of people, or at the very least, very confusing for a lot of people. And this is because you hear a lot in the manifesting community about changing your beliefs, changing your limiting beliefs, changing your assumptions. And so people always come to me and they ask, okay, but how do I do that? I get that I need to change my beliefs. I get that I need to change my assumptions. How do I do it? So I thought it would be a good idea to make a video about that, explain things a little more, clarify things. Hopefully by the end of it, you won't be confused about it anymore. So this is what I'll be discussing in today's video. Stay tuned. So as I said in my intro, a lot of people worry so much about changing their beliefs, changing their assumptions, changing their limitations, their limiting beliefs, however you want to call them. And people tend to get very, very confused about how they can do that. And I know that the default practice that a lot of coaches recommend is to affirm about it, affirm the alternative, affirm the opposite, affirm what you actually want. And that is not wrong. There is nothing wrong with that. However, I tend to think that there is a better way, there is a better method. Or perhaps, let's say, a more effective way and a more effective method, because a lot of the times when you're practicing affirmations, they can feel a little dry, or maybe you find your mind wandering. Or maybe in some cases and among certain people, you might find that they create more resistance in you. Now, if affirming helps you and works for you, absolutely do it. And I'm not saying don't affirm. What I'm saying though is that for some people, perhaps for many people, what is needed to change a deep-rooted belief, a deep-rooted assumption, something that tends to come up as a block, something that tends to come up all the time, and they feel that it stops them from manifesting what they want, plain affirmations might not be enough, or maybe plain affirmations don't cut it. My personal favorite method, and by the way, you can use affirmations and you can use any technique that you want to help you, but I want you to put the emphasis and the focus on actually feeling that change within yourself. And let me explain what I mean. Let's say that you don't have much confidence in yourself and that you want to change into a more confident person, the more confident version of yourself. Instead of repeating an affirmation along the lines of, I am confident, I am self-assured, and things like that, it's even better if you start feeling, embodying, being that person. How would that person feel in their day-to-day life? How would that confident version of yourself feel? How would he or she think? How would they respond to the 3D? How would they react, perhaps, to things that come up in the 3D? What would they expect out of life and out of different situations in their life? How would they view themselves? How would they view other people? I think you get the gist. Once you start embodying that new version of yourself, it might not feel natural in the beginning, but over some time, it will start feeling more and more natural if you're doing it consistently. And the magic that happens with that is that you start truly becoming that new version of you. And without necessarily doing any techniques, you are starting to give your subconscious the message that I am now that confident person. I am now that person who is self-assured. I am now that person who knows they are worthy. I am now that person who knows they deserve everything they want, and so on. And so because you're now transforming yourself into that new version, you are automatically changing your beliefs and your assumptions about who you are, or whatever the situation is, whatever the limitation is that you're trying to change, whatever the limiting belief, whatever the assumption. The secret is in starting to feel it first, in starting to embody it first. The same goes not just for self-concept, but also for things like manifesting an SP, for example. If your limitation, your limiting belief, your limiting assumption is that they don't love you, for example, that they're not attracted to you, well, how would it feel to be the version of you that knows that their SP loves them and is attracted to them? How would that person think? How would that person feel? What would that person believe? How would that person respond to the 3D? How would that person even react to triggers in the 3D? And so on. By embodying the feeling and the identity, the new identity of that person that you want to be, you are saturating your subconscious with the idea that you are now that new person. And if you do it consistently and practice it consistently, before you know it, you have formed a new belief just like that. Because you are now wearing the new identity of that new person, that new version of yourself. The other very interesting thing that happens when you do that is that the 3D tends to change in your favor, and it tends to shift in your favor. It tends to shift in ways that are aligned with what you actually want and with the new reality you're actually creating. And so now you also have the tangible 3D proof that you are a confident person, that other people see you as a confident person, that you are self-assured, that your SP does love you because they're showing it to you now in the 3D. And so now, not only are you embodying the new identity, but you're also seeing it in the 3D and you have tangible proof. And so now it's extremely easy to finally believe otherwise. Whereas before you believed that your SP didn't love you, now you believe that your SP actually loves you because you feel it within and you're also seeing it in your 3D. Whereas before you might have thought that you weren't a confident person, now you start feeling and thinking and believing otherwise. And this is, you guys, in my opinion, the best, most effective, deepest, most sustainable way of changing anything that you want, any belief that you want, any limiting assumption that you want, without having to spend your entire day doing affirmations or visualizing or doing other techniques. And instead, you go straight to the point. You deliver the message straight to your subconscious by becoming that person, embodying that new version of yourself. And once your 3D starts reflecting that back to you, then you also have the tangible evidence in the 3D that now makes it so easy for you to adopt that new belief because you're feeling it and also you're seeing it outside of you in your 3D experience. So I wanted to put that out there because I believe it is truly the most sustainable method to actually change any belief, any limitation, any block, any whatever. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.